Give people what they want.
Yeah.
If people are going to your movie and giving you $1 billion for a rated R movie, a fucking rated R movie made $1 billion, the first one in history.
Yeah.
And what did you say? Hey, all of you fans, go F yourself. We don't like you. We don't respect you. Now, to the argument of,
well, this is yeah. I mean, this is what happens when filmmakers are activists instead of actual filmmakers.
This was Jeremy's live TV appearance with Piers Morgan. I don't think he's ever seen that bit by George Carlin about the words you can't say on TV. It's hilarious he dropped an F-bomb live on air, and I wonder if it made any British grandmas spit out their tea. He also hasn't quite figured out the dynamics of cable TV either. He's no longer the alpha dog as a guest on Piers' show, and he can't just talk whenever he wants. TV's really rigid. There's a strict allotment of time for everyone, unlike YouTube streams, which can go on indefinitely. Just look at Jeremy when he realizes that he's not on the internet anymore.
He's trying to be responsible, he's trying to be original, he's trying to be provocative, and he's losing every one of the people who might have a vested interest in this movie along the way, making a movie for no one.
Let me bring in Ernest.
And he didn't want to make the movie, by the way. He did not want to make a sequel. It's that Warner Brothers backed up the Brinks truck and forced his hand, so he took this as an opportunity, I think. Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, Jeremy, you can't just interrupt people, but I'm glad that he had the self-awareness and realized what he did. Also, to be fair, if I was to go on cable, I would be way worse than him. I still find it really funny, though, just because you could tell that Jeremy is super insulated and that he's really trapped, in his little corner of the internet, and he doesn't really know what the real world's like. An example of that is when Piers Morgan asks him what the worst sequel is ever.
Jeremy, I just want to ask you, is it the worst sequel of all time?
No, not the worst sequel of all time.
What's the worst
Peter
for you?
said the worst sequel of all time. Well, it depends on if you're talking about a direct sequel or like The Last Jedi is probably the worst true like actual sequel because of the destruction it did to Star Wars. The Joker 2, look, Todd Phillips accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. From a creative standpoint, I can appreciate that. He did accomplish what he wanted to accomplish. It's just that what he wanted to accomplish was a terrible, terrible thing. And so
Piers Morgan asks him what the worst sequel is ever. And then Jeremy says The Last Jedi, which is just absurd. Don't get me wrong, The Last Jedi was terrible, but there's plenty of sequels that have been way worse. The thing is, though, is that Jeremy's built up his whole brand now trashing The Last Jedi, even though he actually used to be a huge fan of it.
And today we are going to talk about The Last Jedi. Initially watching it, walked out of the theater, really, I was like, I love this movie. I love this movie. Watched it another time, and I was like, all right, there are some problems here, and I'm still not sure how I feel about it. And then I watched it a third time, and ultimately I came to the conclusion that I liked the movie a lot. I hated Canto Bight. I thought Canto Bight was all-time terrible. And I settled on, that I was going to give it an 8 out of 10. Now, this movie is a beautiful movie.
The thing I don't really understand, though, is that he hyperfixates on The Last Jedi, when actually The Force Awakens is the reason why the whole trilogy ended up collapsing. If you don't build a good foundation, then everything will fall apart. Even Jar Jar Abrams admitted that anybody who likes Episode 7 is probably retarded.
Is there a big, giant, planet-sized weapon in Force Awakens? Yes. And does it blow up? It does blow up. And so there are undeniable, parallels. I very purposely wanted to sort of revisit the old in order to start and tell the new. And that was the challenge. And again, for those who hate it, I could not respect your opinion more. And for those who love it, I question your sanity. It felt right to us at the time, and as does this one now.
Jeremy legitimately believes that The Force Awakens was a really good setup and that Rian Johnson fumbled the ball, but honestly, J.J. Abrams doomed the whole series to fail. And I guess that's, not really the subject of today's video, so I don't really want to delve too much into that. But I have this super entertaining compilation showing Jeremy basically being a total Disney simp, which is what he used to be. Honestly, I think that Mickey probably paid him to do the Bill Clinton on him in some alley in Hollywood or something. He's done a full 180 now, and I find it extremely hilarious. What do you think of Jeremy's secret past about being a total Disney simp? What dirty deeds do you think the mouse paid him to do? Let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and sub, and of course, go ahead and check out that other video I was talking about. Have a great rest of your day.